welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing well and that this day has treated you kindly. It is October 7th, 2025, and let us check right in with Spirit and get a message for the collective. Message for the collective, please, Spirit. Message for the collective. Storyline for the collective, please, Spirit. Storyline for the collective. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Storyline for the collective, please, Spirit. All right, in the central energy, Chariot, moving forward with something, very determined, in the challenge position. Knight of Cups, proposals. You're leaving and you got some folks coming in with some proposals that's challenging you. Somebody's trying to challenge you with some romance. In the subconscious, the Two of Pentacles, in the recent past, Justice, the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect, which, by the way, I'm not in charge of. So, you know, it'd be really great if people would stop throwing hate this way. Intentions and expectations. The Five of Cups. Somebody's disappointed by Justice in the near future. Nostalgia, history, memories. The lens it's being looked through. Four of Pentacles. In the environment. Seven of Swords. Betrayal and trickery. Deception. We've got false documentation. There's probably quite a bit of it being filed or manufactured, getting ready to be filed. Hopes and fears. Travel plans. You know, I feel like they're using this catastrophe to strategically strike certain individuals to like fake an suicide, to KID nap, get a hold of the genetics, the energy, and also the wealth. There's going to be like a 3D harvest. Really got to watch yourself, I suppose. The magic didn't work. They got to go old school. See outcome, Spirit. Magician. King of Cups, Queen of Cups. King of Cups, Queen of Cups. Completion of the heavy burden caused from this conflict. The Emperor is working hard here on a routine, and somebody is having a nightmare because the wheel is turning and the cycle is ending, and the Queen of Swords has announced the truth. She's out there speaking truth here, as people are in fear because judgment is being called on that truth. So they're trying to rush forward with their sword raised. You know, they've been talking about home invasions, you know, paralyzing agents, fentanyl, weapons in the home and what they are. So they might be rushing in. They might think they're strong, or you are strong. King of Wands is here. And perseverance. Perseverance. There is resilience and boundaries placed by the strength of two together. So there's that. So that yeah. So we've got the love, divine masculine, divine feminine is a complete. This is a completion of their heavy burden caused by this conflict. We've got the Emperor here, freaking working hard to bring a freaking nightmare to them. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Turning that wheel and ending this cycle based on the truth spoken. And, you know, not everybody's going to like that truth, you know. It's like everybody likes you until they realize that you don't share the same perspective. And then they want to step in and you know, disrupt you because it's all very cliquish. You're either one of us or you're an enemy. And I suppose, you know, with that mindset, that's the way it would be. I imagine that the Creator has a universe with a planetary system that operates on a different energetic and mental frequency, perhaps. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. We're kind of all at that mercy. I got a lot of lavender on here. Doesn't want to take off. Needed a lot of ladies' medicine tonight. Had a lot of hate thrown at me today. It wasn't pleasant. It wasn't pleasant. You can relate. Lady medicine. The lavender is the gentle flower for the woman. The feminine, or the feminine, if you're resting in your feminine energy, masculine, then it might be for you too. But there is sage. So there's the Chariot here. Moving forward, privilege. You could be stepping up into a status of privilege. You might be being integrated into a privileged status. Because of your strength of will and steadiness. You know, in this particular realm, it's always steady, 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 you know. When we get all riled up or something, you know, folks are like, settle down, steady yourself. But Spirit said one time, because I was energetically kind of big, and I was told to settle. Some folks might say ground or whatever, I don't know. All right, so you're moving into and you're leaving, being integrated perhaps into a privileged status or community. Challenges, you've got a Knight of Cups here. Making a proposal, you might be challenged by romance. You might be getting a lot of, oh, evermore. This came out in the reverse. Knight of Cups, making a proposal, and it looks like the answer is no. You've got the Two of Pentacles here. You've got a lot of priorities going on right now. You may not have time to think about that chicken. There could be you're balancing decisions regarding a chicken. Somebody's afraid of your adaptability. Somebody of privilege is afraid of your adaptability. It could be that you're going in a new direction. You're leaving these privileged statuses behind. They could not gain a marriage with you. They didn't get a marriage with you. A contract. They're afraid. Justice has been served here in the recent past. For the horseplay. Law of cause and effect. Somebody's in a Five of Cups. Disappointment and failure. They're in regret. Whatever they're dealing with, that law of cause and effect, whatever they put out there, they're in regret. They're having to preserve themselves. They may be having a challenging time. They got to go survive what it was that they put you through in the past. They're very angry. This curator who has been, you know, of the privileged status, wheeling and dealing in the life force vitality of humans, attempting to exterminate bloodlines. He said, no matter what happens, make sure she doesn't get the opportunity. So he's got some bros and some feminines out there trying to do his bidding. We've got peace. There might be a memory of peace. Somebody's remembering peace, what peace was. Innocence, peace. Four of Pentacles. Somebody has memories of peace. They're reminiscing about peace. So there's the Four of Pentacles. Somebody was trying to control the foundation. This ancestry had control of this foundation, and justice is being served for the horseplay of the history. This betrayal. This trickery. Regarding a giant, a limelight, somebody who's got big energy, somebody who's got a lot of, I don't know, a lot of whatever they got that these kin stole and decided that they were going to control. They were performing trickery. They could have been performing trickery in the limelight, or regarding a giant who was supposed to be in the limelight. They've been misleading everybody, leading everybody down a path of incoherence because they weren't supposed to be in charge of that. They stole it and just effed around with these evermores. Look, we've got invisible. Somebody has to leave home. They're going to be made invisible. Maybe they wish they were invisible. We've got the Magician here. Well, we've got important in the reverse. So somebody is what? A magician is not important. They've got bad teachings. Maybe their teachings went bad. And we've got explore in the reverse too. These all popped out and then went into the reverse. So I'm just going to keep them like that. So a magician, what's he doing? I'm going to put them back, and I'm just gonna pull another card because I want to make sure that I'm getting you the right message. So what's this Magician doing? We got manifestation, martyr, Magician, and martyr. Whoa, is that this magician? Like they did what in the Salem witch trials? Is that what's happening here? Ooh, we're going to have to pull more cards. We're going to change for the innocent arcana. They could be in their purpose, or maybe they're in their purpose at a hidden location. They have a location for their purpose, and maybe they're in the right place for their purpose. A location. Visitation and hospitality. You might be getting a visitor trying to congratulate you. I don't know, somebody, it looks like somebody made a promise. They might want to make a promise. We've got do nothing. To appear as though they're working as this wholesome woman, driver. Okay, spiritual throne, haunted. So they haunted you. You're in service, objectivity, damn it, reliable, stable, calm, steady. Magician, so there's action and martyr. Somebody wants to betray a limelight. They want to do something here. There's justice being served because of this ancestry and the lies, all the crap they did. But we've got a lot of angry people, and you know, they're concerned with the way they're gonna go out, right? They have to leave, but no matter what happens, they don't want you to have what they stole from you and have just now lost. They don't want you getting it back. They never wanted you to have it in the first place. They claimed it long, long ago. They don't want the world to know you. They hate you. Why do they hate you? Probably because you didn't want them. So they force themselves So you're leaving, you're departing. You could be leaving these privileged people behind. You could be integrating privilege into a privileged community. You could be integrating into a status of privilege. You have control over privilege, charity. You might be a judge. This could be that magistrate. We've got yes, luck is on your side. Knight of Cups. So you've got a proposal here, but then we've got Evermore in the reverse. It could be that you were challenged because Mr. Romance, Mr. Prince Charming never married you. Your proposal, like they may have gained a contract in the 3D, but they never showed up, kind of thing. That might have happened. So now you're moving into a status of privilege. They didn't honor their contract. They did fraud and trickery to gain this limelight position through you. You were the one who held the status of privilege. They made a proposal in the ethers to get that contract, and then they buried you in the 3D and took your spot. You never came into position. You probably lived in the wilderness and had a dog for a friend, miles and miles and miles from the nearest neighbor in town. They never shut up. Patience. Just a few more months. Good things come to those who wait. It could be that you're not taking any offers, that you're waiting. Two of Pentacles here. Like you're in the management position. Balancing the decisions. These masculines have, accused feminines of being irresponsible. While they're left alone to run a whole household, raise children on bare next to nothing, and, make do with the bare minimum. They make the world go around. Wouldn't be nothing without them. So you've got time management, balancing decisions, multiple priorities, status of privilege. You're moving into that. Yes, luck is on your side. Absolutely. You're not taking any love offers. Somebody's afraid. Intuition, the red flags you ignore now will come back to bite later. Recent past, we've got justice, the law of cause and effect on horseplay. We've got a new cycle. One ends, one begins. They're in regret because you were able to preserve yourself and rise or be lifted by God, by the Most High. So they're experiencing a disappointment and a loss. And maybe now it's their turn to go through that same cycle that you had to go through. Like they have to go through what you went through. And it's like all in one lifetime. I think that's part of the rules. It's like one lifetime. It's like everything. And it's like, so you know how when you have an accident, you know, and you die, but you don't die, that kind of stuff. It's like whatever you packed into this experience was like multiple lifetimes in one. Like you really compacted down this torturous suffering and you really took it on the chin and a whole lot of other places. And it's like you did the impossible in one lifetime, and now they have to do that too in order to qualify for what you have just qualified for. That's my understanding. They're really upset. They want to make sure that you don't get that opportunity. They want to take out your 3D body. They want to nuke stuff. They want to have an extinction event is what they want to do. They've lost, so they just want to take out all the flesh suits and then strip you of your opportunity to actually enjoy what God has gifted you. We've got they'll be back in the reverse. So they're probably not going to come back because they put you through impossibility. They were certain that you would never make it. This says they'll never be back. They're in regret. They failed in their endeavor, and now they're going to have to go preserve themselves and go through what you went through, like all compacted in one lifetime. And even if they had multiple lifetimes, they probably wouldn't be able to do that because it was impossible. But God was with you the whole time. They just didn't know it. So you've got the history, nostalgia. You could be remembering peace. They might be remembering peace. Or you've got some sort of history of being a peaceful person despite what they were doing here. Maybe they're remembering what it was like to be around you. They completely tried to strip it from you. Gambling. They gambled with you. They're remembering you. You were a peaceful, loving, beautiful person, and they did their best to destroy you, and they failed. They took a gamble, and now they got to manage that. They wanted to control the foundation. This ancestry is receiving justice or going to have to pay the law of cause and effect. Moving. And pregnancy in the reverse. They did not create anything. They didn't have a family tree. They tried to destroy. They might have tried to destroy your pregnancies. They were against pregnancies. A lot of bad things happened in this world regarding unborn children and stuff. They have to move out. Justice is being delivered for what these ancestors did with the foundation that they stole from you, a peaceful person who actually was supposed to be in that position. Yeah, they got to get out, because in the environment we've got deception, betrayal, fraud, and trickery in the limelight position. So that's what they were doing. This is probably being addressed, right? They were a fraud. They didn't belong in this position. It wasn't theirs. They hurt the one, the innocent, peaceful one. And then did their best to destroy her. I say her because there's a feminine on the card. Please understand that that's energies, and do with the storyline as you will. Please remember that this is a general collective reading. Therefore, there are many who may or may not resonate with this story. So they were committing trickery and betrayal and deception from this position, or maybe they're trying to do that right now so that they can continue to be in this position. They got to move, and they want to take out your vessel so that they can, they've been planning a fake suicide, right? They want to use a paralyzing agent and then KID nap somebody, and then they want to put in a corpse from the mortuary, which they've been visiting, and then they want to leave an suicide note, something like that, so they can gain the energy, or they want to, they were talking about imploding like a duplicate in the public eye, and then filing a false death certificate for a person in a position of power, and then claiming that they themselves were a deception, and then having them arrested and thrown in the pit of fire or whatever. So they're talking about all different kinds of solutions to this problem, and the curator is saying, no matter what, do not let her have this opportunity. So he hates God, and he hates God because God is giving her back what he stole from her, and he's stopping this fraud from feeding on the energy of humanity. No more copycats, no more stolen identities and lives, no more feeding on the energy or the flesh, no more draining the children of their fluids. It's like it's all going away, and they're furious, and they want this magistrate martyred. They want her gone. They want to replace her with one of their choices so that they can continue operating in the same manner that they have been. They are so mad, these men. I feel bad for the ones that they're trying to get to copycat, because there's no care whatsoever. I mean, one of their solutions was to get a copycat and then implode them and have them melt down and become nothing in the public eye so that they can file this false document. So, health, Mercury retrograde. Their health is going to go back to what it was. Health issues could arise. They're going to go back to what they were before they started feeding on your energy, on your light. They've got to give you your health back. They got to return all that light. Or they're trying to get it back because their health is failing. So they're trying to do something tricky to get that light back because their health is failing. They want to commit fraud and deception. Like I mentioned, they want to fake an suicide. They want to KID nap somebody. They got to get a hold of this energy. They got to get a hold of this billionaire soul. Two of Wands here, leaving home and invisible. Making plans, narcissist. So yeah, this is a magician, and there's martyr here. He wants to unalive somebody. Looks like that's his intention. He wants to manifest a martyring of this person, this peaceful person. Intimacy. fire sign challenges. It could be the intimacy with a fire sign is presenting challenges. There's a confession, a love spell, and a divorce. Divorce. This person may have known you in the past. This may be a magician who martyred you in the past. Intimacy, fire sign, challenges. They may want to get an intimate encounter with you so that they can gain that relationship and then command the energy. If you give them permission, apparently by vampire rules, they can possess you. Oh, yeah, well. They're talking about wrought iron. There's something about wrought iron. I don't know, maybe you need a wrought iron stake in your house. Get some kind of a, like one of them, those karate movie, you know, those martial arts movies that have the stick with the little thing on the end of it. Maybe we should go get a hobby. So we've got the Chariot here. You're moving on up into a status of privilege, and the answer is yes, luck is on your side. These people are so mad. They're sending out all kinds of masculines and feminines to try to take you out. They do not want you having this. They want possession of your body, your flesh body, and the energy and the soul that is in it. They want revenge because they couldn't unalive you and keep you buried. You rose up and they're so pissed. You were not supposed to all by yourself while getting all these other people all over you trying to keep you down. And for some reason, you were able to rise up. God. Resurrection and led back to an ascension. They really hate her, this peaceful woman. I don't think she likes them much either. We've got doubt, but it kind of came out sideways. So the card reads, I release the need to know all the answers. But in the reverse, it could just be you have no doubts, or there are no doubts. Luck is on your side. The answer is yes. You're in that Chariot and you're moving forward into a status of privilege. You're challenged, or somebody is challenged. Somebody's challenged, or maybe you're challenged because these nights people keep coming in with this darn proposal, or maybe you're not accepting proposals. Like you're not accepting proposals for marriage. You may, like, God is leading you and guiding you, and you're just like ignoring everything else. You know, God has you on a path. God led you back into an ascension. You're on God's walk, and you're practicing patience with this. You're not accepting any proposals for marriage right now. Not intimacy either. Sorry there, magician. Probably. You know, got other things on the mind. God has this peaceful person on another walk. You know, narcissistic, you know, horse playing Prince Charming's needing a fix of this light, you know, just aren't appealing, probably. Trust. You trust in the inner voice that guides you. Just like I said, you're using your patience, just a few more months. You're trusting that inner voice that's guiding you. God's guiding you. You're on God's walk, or God is, he's leading you into your ascension, or wherever it is that you're going. You're in that chariot and you're moving into a status of privilege, and God has this and is aware of all this. Apparently, whatever this is won't be long. Whatever this is right here, it's not going to take much time. We're in the Two of Pentacles. Somebody is a chicken. Somebody's afraid. And we've got intuition. Intuition. The red flags you ignore now will come back to bite you later. It could be that somebody's afraid because they ignored the red flags about the gifts of your soul that benefit me and others because of your self-esteem. They knew you loved yourself. They knew you loved yourself. And now they're afraid because you're able to manage multiple priorities. You're very well balanced. They ignored the red flags. They knew that you cared about yourself, that you had a healthy self-esteem, and you've got all these gifts of the soul that benefited you and others, and they wanted to destroy that for you so that they could claim it. Wow. And, you know, the sad thing about it is they're in a masculine flesh suit, which is like made in the image of God. What do you think God thinks about that? I mean, I don't even know. I don't want to know. But apparently there's wrath and stuff. Definitely justice. The law of cause and effect for this horseplay, they're going to have to repeat a new cycle, just like the one that you went through. They got to go through everything that you went through. And the sad thing is that it wasn't just one person who was putting a load on you. It was many. So it's like all of these people have to go through the load of many people and then come up through it. I think in one lifetime, in order to qualify to ever be where you're going. Balance. So that cycle with these horse playing, light eating ancestors, you know, these narcissists, they got to go do the cycle that you had to do, because balance is being restored here. You bring a state of perfect harmony into your world, and you do so without judgment. It's like these people were hurting you and you just kept serving them. One of the things that the divine stated was divine feminine has been too forgiving. It's like you just kept turning the other damn cheek. So now you get a, or maybe they have to go figure out how to bring a sense of perfect harmony in their world. They got to go through what you did, and they're going to have to learn how to bring a sense of harmony into their world under those extreme, obnoxious challenges. They knew you had gifts of the soul. They ignored the warnings. Now they're in regret over your self-preservation because they're not coming back. They can't come back. And you're not coming back. It's like you're not ever coming back. We've got loneliness. They'll be back in reverse. They will not be hearing from you soon. They're being left alone. You're leaving them. The connection was broken. It's like God canceled that contract. And these ones want to take it back any which way, even if it's from some 3D ritual or something. So they're remembering here with the nostalgia card, your peace, and they gambled with it. They gambled. They gambled the peace that you brought to the world by burying you in chaos and suffering. They gambled it. They thought that they were going to have it trapped, but they gambled it. So we've got acceptance. That particular plan was not accepted, and they don't have any courage. whatever that was, God didn't accept it. He's like, nope, we're not going to do that. You in the history, you have been gambling the one who brought you peace. You did not accept them. You rejected them. And now they're afraid. They're afraid. They didn't accept this peaceful person. And they didn't accept her. They did not accept peace. They turned the world, this realm, into a war zone. They did not accept peace. And so they're in the history, that's what that is. They did not accept peace. They did not accept the peace that you offered. They gambled you. They gambled you. And now they don't have any courage. They lost you. They don't have the inner strength to face this with confidence. They wanted to control the foundation, these ancestors, and justice is being served here. They're not able to birth anything. They didn't birth anything. They have to move. They have to move. And they're very upset by it. They did not accept peace. They created a war zone. They stole everything and then turned it from a peaceful state into a war zone. They're happiness haters. They didn't birth anything. And they were against family trees and children. They didn't want. So they were trying to exterminate bloodlines. They were trying to exterminate species. They were hybriding and CRISPRing folks into a new genealogy or a DNA sequence. It's like they were changing everybody with this mad scientist stuff. This interbreeding, with whatever they are. Pride. They gotta move because they're full of pride. And they were trying to, that was the other thing. They were chemically castrating people so that they could not have a family. They were chemically castrating people. So now they gotta move. They gotta get out. In the environment, we've got deception, limelight, health problems arising, and Mercury retrograde. Change in the reverse. They don't want anything to change. They want you back. They don't want something to change. They're in grief. They're worried. They don't know what to do. Leaving home. They got to leave home. They're told they got to vacate the premises. And no matter what happens, this curator is telling his narcissist friends here to make sure that she does not get this opportunity. This magician wants her martyred. They want to unalive her. They're talking about all kinds of different plans, all different kinds of stories, all different kinds of public displays of an ending, perhaps of a clone, so that they can take the genetics and energy and mind connected to source. See, I think what happened is like when they lost you, collective, they lost control over consciousness, the organic, connected to the Most High God consciousness. They can't create illusions in this space anymore. They're very upset because you rose up, or God rose you up, and you told everything that you knew. So leaving home, made invisible, narcissist. Love. Someone's too full of themselves. Leaving home, the invisible narcissist. Love. It's like this person might fake their death. They've been talking about death certificates and such. They might fake their death. And then this narcissist might pretend that they have committed to love. Because they want to manifest a martyr, and they need an intimate encounter with the fire sign so that they can bring forth these challenges. Imagination. Challenges in the mental body. They need to gain access to this person's consciousness through an intimate encounter, through permission. They need to be invited in. Envy. They envy your discipline. They envy that you can accomplish whatever you set your mind to. They don't know what to do. They're worried. They're grieving. They're in grief because you're a grateful, thankful person. You're in your purpose, and you've got your freedom. They want to come in. Yeah, so you have empathy. You're open to seeing both sides of a situation in relationships that serve the higher good, that are abundant and successful, limitless beings creating from their connections, their without interference of this stuff to source, so that you can truly bring that information that is seeded into consciousness into this realm. They intercepted it last time, and then they did all this nasty stuff. You're a wealth. You are a wealth. You're a limitless being of abundance who is operating in love, out of love, happiness, right? In service. You feel good when you can help others. These people they didn't want that. They wanted all that you had, that you were going to give to everybody, and then they just wanted to, do away with love. And if they trapped you, then they could still pretend to be you and then still get that. While if they could exterminate this whole thing, then they could destroy God's family, humanity, the originals. Which apparently there's not very many left compared to the world population. They're under judgment for blaming you for what they did. They're afraid and they want forgiveness. Or maybe they're afraid because you have been forgiven. You have grown in consciousness and awareness, and you have told the truth. Straight up. You honor the physical vessel, which enshrines your soul. And these people who brought you adversity, they're guilty of it. And they failed with it. The only thing they have left now is to try to get permission to be in your physical space and then come in here and do a thing. And I don't even know if they need, I don't know. I mean, there's laws, right? There's rules of the game or whatever. I think that's all changing though. So I don't know if the old rules apply. No matter what happens, this curator says, don't let her have this opportunity. He has lost the home. He has stolen the home who for centuries he thought that he owned, and he thought that he owned everybody, and they treated humanity like they were dogs, chattel. And they would just come into the dream space and tag you before you even got married, and then they would tap into that spiritual account and just drain it because they could. And that was God's wealth meant for his family. I don't know what God's doing with this, but so many of us have a front row seat, so it will be, I don't know. Last night they said they said it won't be long now. It won't be long. I don't know what's going to happen. We got some out there talking about nuclear weapons, We got folks out there grabbing others off the streets. These folks are talking about like containment, like prisoners, and, letting them out. They want chaos. They want utter chaos. And once that happens, and it's like there's some kind of neural link or whatever that they can activate, which will cause like zombies going berserk and stuff. I mean, I feel this is their intent. I'm surprised they haven't done it yet. Guess there's a rule book or something. So you're moving into a status of privilege. The answer is yes, you have no doubts. There are no doubts. Luck is on your side. Look, commitment. There's a commitment. So you could have a spiritual spouse, if not a real one. Take it as it resonates. They want you to be a part of their future. You're very well protected. You've got this Knight of Cups in here, Prince Charming. Your challenge, it's like, dude, but you're not doing no evermores. You're not accepting any proposals. You're giving it a few months. You're being patient because you're allowing the inner voice to guide you, your God connection, the one who's leading you into this ascension. You're not going to just go out there and like listen to it's like, why should you? When you're so connected. And these ones have been doing that too. They want to, like, they're talking about how to take out power couples together. Even though they may not be together yet in the 3D. So there's all this kinds of plans. So, and at the very minimum, this is a record, I mean, I imagine someday this is probably going to be a book or a movie or something. This scenario, I mean, it is the reset, right? And, a lot of you out there have been telling this story as it plays out. And so there should probably be a story pretty soon. Reminiscing, inside jokes. There could be an inner voice that you have a commitment with that is guiding you. This could be from a centuries long ago connection. You're managing multi-priorities and somebody is afraid because they ignored the red flags regarding your soul. You have a billionaire soul, they're saying. Like your soul is a billionaire soul. Huge. Cosmic. And I heard this masculine say a long time ago, like when everything started to go south, that apparently somebody told him that he could keep her. All he had to do was this and this and that and this. But it didn't work out. Unworthy. They were unworthy of your gifts. They know you're a better person than they are. They're afraid. They ignored the red flags about your gifts and your soul, your high value. Priceless. Priceless is limitless potential. And what they did with that is just atrocious. They want to martyr it so that they can claim it, and they're insane. Somebody's going to fake their death and become invisible, this narcissist, so that they can pop up and commit to love so that they can get an intimate encounter with this fire sign and then do that. This is their plan, according to spirit. Justice has been served in the recent past on this horseplay, the law of cause and effect. They're going to have to go back and repeat that cycle, for it is over. And we're moving into a cycle that is balanced and harmonized, right? They're in regret. They wish it had never happened. And again, the Five of Cups, regret over your self-preservation. The fact that you survived. They can't come back. You're not coming back. You're leaving them alone. Or maybe in your loneliness, you were never alone, just like now. You're never alone. These people will never come back. That's the first thing that the divine stated, was never give it back. You'll never give it back. And that's everything, I'm guessing. Everything they took, including her energy, time, gifts, you know, love. And then she's going to get compensated for all of that atrocious energy she had to transmute, right? Guilty. So they're guilty. They're guilty of leaving you alone. They abandon you. They reject you. They can't come back. You self-preserved, and they're in regret because you were able to preserve yourself with your special gifts of the soul that they ignored the red flags of. Just because they possessed, you know, just because they took it from you and left you without anything, doesn't mean they had the qualifications to be that, right? They didn't know you were just going to pop up. In the history, they might be reminiscing that they did not accept peace. They did not accept the peace that you offered. They gave you suffering and then siphoned it out of you. They took a gamble with you, and now there's no courage. They're addicted to you. They don't know what to do. They feel like the only thing they can do is a 3D miracle, whatever. New chapter. They don't know what to do. This is a new chapter here. Holding back. A new chapter, and they're getting held back, or you're holding back. It's like in this new chapter, you're holding back your peace. They didn't accept your peace. This new chapter, you're holding it back. You're like, you're not involving yourself with this anymore. You don't have to. You don't have to. There's ancestors here who wanted to control the foundation that belonged to you, and justice is being served here. There's no pregnancy, like there was no family. They, like, nobody got with you. They just buried you right away and took your stuff. So they got to move. These prideful people have to move. There's no lineage. There's no binding bloodline between you and them. And it could just very well be that whole connection is over. And maybe they don't get to have children in the future. I don't know. Or maybe it's just that they betrayed children with all these bloodlines. They sabotaged their own damn selves. Their pride sabotaged themselves. And they thought that if they repeated, you know, that you were sabotaging yourself enough in the history, that you would eventually believe it and take that on. But they were the ones that were doing it. They just needed you to believe that it was you. In the environment, they're being deceptive with this limelight individual. It could be a some sort of officer. They may be betraying an officer, deceiving an officer. There may be an officer that is a betrayer, trying to get away with something tricky. Somebody may be dressing up in somebody else's limelight, or they're just trying to get away with something. Or somebody is trying to deceive somebody in a limelight position. They're having health issues, and their health issues are returning. They need your health issues to return. They want to put this back on you. They don't want things to change. Escape. They need an escape. They need you to escape. They don't want this to change. You have escaped. They need an escape. They gotta do something tricky. You're leaving home, and we've got invisible narcissist and love. So you could be leaving home, and you are going to be made invisible to this narcissist. It could very well be that there is somebody making travel plans, and they're hiding the fact that they're a narcissist, and they want to come in and say that they're committed to love. Could be something like that. Disagreements. disagreements, narcissists, love. They may be in disagreement about love. A narcissist is too full of themselves. Your love, you're committed to love. They're in disagreement about that. They don't think you understand them. Of course not. You're completely different. This magician wants to martyr you. They need an intimate moment with the fire sign. Maybe they are a fire sign. They need to present you challenges of the mind. They need to come in and plug in and then like download their karmic debt into you. You are the original organic transmitter receiver divine. You're super sensitive and super amazing. You can transmute death energy. You're like the supercharger of life. You bring all this peace and love. That's why this energy belongs to you, because you're not in this low vibrational energy. The energy belongs to you because it's created by you. And they took it from you and then piled all their stuff on you. But they need to get an intimate encounter. They got to plug in, you know, their little electric charging device so that they can present challenges. And your mental body, they want to download what? Their attachments, their karmic debt, their sin. They need to transfer it to you. They need to transfer it to you. They keep talking about transfer. They need to transfer it through an intimate encounter. The magician wants to martyr you, and they need to transfer their sin, their karmic debt, their demonic attachments, or whatever that is. Their mental insanity. They need to martyr you by plugging in and downloading their software, their hardware, their software into your device. We got damage. We're both hurting from this. So they're suffering some damage. Them and their person over there. They're chasing after you. This is third party. They're chasing after you. They need to get an intimate encounter. They need to. Oh, but we got time. It's too late for them to take any action. They're feeling overwhelmed and stressed out about these responsible families coming together whose financial needs are going to be met so that they can focus on managing their emotional needs and all of that other stuff that families need to do in order to provide and maybe build something for their lineage. So they're overwhelmed and stressed out because this is the future and they've missed their opportunity. They've gotten detached from it. There's no evermore. There's no evermore. You preserved yourself and they're in regret because you popped up out of nowhere and it was like, whoa. And they can't get back in your life. So they feel like the only solution left is to come into the 3D and take it by force somehow. They got all kinds of solutions. You probably know that though, because you were able to preserve yourself from the last cycle of this mess. So you're not blind. You know, you were able to come into an awareness, build the bridges, gather your connections, and manage yourself, learn how to manage yourself well, and you added a ton of value to your soul. See, everybody else is so busy taking advantage of somebody's opportunity rather than doing the work to add value to the soul. They're all jealous that you have a billionaire soul and they want it, yet they're not willing to do the work to create it within themselves. It's weird. I guess it's just too much effort. I mean, they're putting forth a whole lot of effort trying to get you back, but I just don't understand why they couldn't just take advantage of the peaceful situation that you obviously provided, you know? I don't know why they had to give you so much pain and suffering. for a little tiny opportunity that they could have generated inside their very own temple. It's weird. I don't understand it. They couldn't recognize value. I mean, they could see it in you, but they couldn't see it in themselves or something. I don't know. We've got the Chariot here. You're moving into a status of privilege. Yes, luck is on your side. There are no doubts about this commitment. They want you to be part of their future. It has been a real rough road for you. And then we've got tangled, unable to free yourself from a sticky situation. So tangled, rocky. Tangled, rocky. It's been a rough road for you. They cannot separate you two. So I read this as in a good way. I read this in a good way. Like, there is no doubt this person wants you to be a part of their life. Your life has been a real rough road. There's nothing they can do to separate you both. Tangled. It's like your energies, your whatever, you're like entangled. They can't separate you. You are one. Like, to have become one, I suppose, energetically and mentally. I suppose maybe that's why these ones keep saying they're connected. Maybe you and your guardian or your protector or whoever your spiritual spouse is or whatever this is, like, is with you all the time. Like, you have a witness for everything, I suppose, whether you're paying attention or not, which is a good thing because it appears both of you are connected to the Most High. It's been a very rough road for you. You're challenged because you got this Knight of Cups here. Proposals, you're not accepting in any ever more proposals right now. You're giving it time. You're using patience. You're trusting the inner voice here. There's some kind of reminiscing, inside jokes, and we've got exit plan. You're managing multiple priorities. Somebody is afraid. They ignored the red flags. They're unworthy. They realize you're a better person than they are. You have these gifts of the soul that benefit you and others. They ignored the red flags. They're unworthy of those gifts. And yet somehow they've been wielding your gifts and then, like, acting as you. Horse playing around with your identity and your energy and your gifts, hurting people with it, teaching others. Struggle. They left you without support. They made life really, really hard for you. They're in regret that you survived. Justice is here, the law of cause and effect for this horseplay. The one cycle ends, another cycle begins, and we're moving into a state of perfect harmony. They are in regret. They wish it had never happened because they have lost. And again, they're in regret because you have survived. You've self-preserved and they can't come back. You'll never come back. Even when you're alone, you're never alone. Your witness knows that they are guilty. Even when you're alone, you're never alone. That angel on one side of the shoulder and other, one on the other. So, yeah, that. Yeah. These ones, you were able to preserve yourself, most likely because of who it was that was walking with you. They're your witness. They know that these people are guilty of what they have done. They're not going to come back. You're not going back. You'll never give it back. You're never going to give your services back to this person. It has already been vowed. Apparently, you know, there was a plan, and these ones decided to betray everybody. We're just gonna have to see what happens. Apparently it won't be long. They're not accepting peace. So there's a history of them not accepting peace. Somebody's looking at the history. They've never accepted peace. They didn't accept you or the peace you offered. They took a gamble, and they're addicted to your energy. They don't have any courage here because there's a new chapter, and you're holding back. You're holding back because you're not going to get involved in this crazy freaking drama anymore. You're done with it. You're holding back crazy drama. You're holding back the crazy drama. It's like holding back the crazy drama in this new chapter. Holding back the crazy drama. You're not dealing with it. You're not dealing with it. And they're so upset. They want this woman gone. They want anybody who supports her gone. They're so mad. And even if they can't get to anybody else, they just don't want her to have this opportunity. They're so mad. So yeah, you know, Four of Pentacles, these ancestors were controlling the foundation and perhaps the justice that was on the foundation, or they are receiving justice for the way they handled things. They were trying to castrate bloodlines. They were trying to exterminate bloodlines by making it so they could not get pregnant. They have to move. They've got to get out of here. These prideful people sabotage themselves by not being willing to settle down or be responsible. These are chaff, the weed seed, or however they say the separation is, you know, those who are pro-life, like family trees, long and wealthy lineages, or at least strong somehow with some, you know, clever thing that is known for their family, you know, or their family is known for. Stuff like, you know, historical lineages of successes and whatever else you want to put in your little sock there. In the environment, you've got somebody being deceptive to an official, a limelight official. Their health is failing. Mercury retrograde, they want to get you back, or their health is going back to the state that it was before they could feed on you. Maybe they don't want things to change. They need an escape. They need an escape. You have escaped. Needs. They don't want things to change. We've got escape here and needs not being met. They want to escape, needs not being met. They've been feeding on you forever, probably feels like. So there's a Two of Wands. Somebody's leaving home. Okay. They may not want to be known. This is a narcissist who wants to come forward and commit to love. Or maybe they're in disagreement about your commitment to love. They want to come forward. They're like hiding their identity. Or maybe you're leaving and you're going to become invisible. They're having anxiety. They wish you understood how they feel. This is a narcissist that's too full of themselves, and you are love, committed to practice seeing the good in all things. You probably can't see any good things in this now, that, especially if the Most High is here, like saying enough is enough, then you can't really argue with that. All you can do is really kick back and see what's going to happen, right? Dang. It's like, I wonder how big the boxing ring, like, is it the whole planet? Not everybody gets a ticket. Tempted. So there's a magician here, and we've got martyr. Intimacy, fire sign, challenges in the mind. Whoever this magician is and their friend here is chasing after you. They were tempted by the snake. They might be having challenges in their mind. But I think they want to have an intimate encounter so that they can download or upload their software with their hardware. Into your biological mainframe. Sorry. All right, but they are far away and they're hurting emotionally right now. It could be that they're drowning, that everything is falling into ruins, right? Falling away to make room for the love that you deserve. Their cup is empty and they're grieving. It did not work out the way that they had planned. They could be tired, or maybe you're tired. You're emotionally exhausted from dealing with everything. You deserve a break now. You always pick up the pieces when things fall apart. Now look for the complete package, or maybe you're getting that. You're tired of picking up the pieces of all these people. It's like these people who broke all their promises, playing games with love, with you probably your whole life, maybe for multiple lives. Long road. According to, the midnight hour, meetups, it's been going on for centuries. It could be that this childish person, people, are being very aggressive. Maybe you're being aggressive with these childish people on the dark side, or maybe these childish people from the dark side are being aggressive with you. Somebody's being fierce with them. Escape. They need an escape. You've got an escape. They're upset. They got caught up in a whirlwind, and they want you to forgive them for treating you like another notch in the headboard. Making life hard for you because you're the diamond, you're the light, you've got the flame, you've got the fire. You're the wealth, you're the billion-dollar soul. And these ones are guilty of leaving you in a state of neglect. They abandoned you, they rejected you, and then they tormented you. They rejected your peace. They thought they could strip it out of you and leave you in a messy puddle, unable to stand. Their empire is crumbling. They need to face it. Their empire is crumbling because of all these secrets they were telling, all these lies. They're reaching out, trying to connect to you, but your love is eluding them. You're not interested in it. You've been hurt before, so you're not trusting them, and this is ending. So that's the plan. This person, it's too late for them to do anything about it, but the cards or the spirit is saying that they're going to try. I'm going to go ahead and leave this one here. I hope that it brings clarity to something that you already intuitively knew. And I'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.